Okay, so going to be doing week 4 quarterback tiers for the NFL. Only going to be doing starting quarterbacks. Obviously, some quarterbacks like Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play this week, but I'm still going to rank them based on their performances thus far, just because I don't expect Aiden O'Connell or, for that matter, DTR to be starting the rest of the season. It's just not going to happen unless Jimmy G or Deshaun Watson's injury ends up being more than it's been let on. But I believe Jimmy G just had a concussion. Deshaun Watson had a shoulder injury of some sort. But that one actually could turn into something. But we'll see. Anyway, the tiers are going to be MVP candidate, can win a playoff game, good but bad team around them. This is going to be for guys like Kirk Cousins probably. Although this week he was pretty rough, but the team won, which just... Every time he does bad, they win, and every time he does good, they lose. It's so unfortunate. He's got to be the most unlucky player in the history of the NFL. Average, bad, and replace ASAP. We'll go ahead and put Kirk on the good but bad team, just because I already said that. But we're going to be starting out with Anthony Richardson. This isn't in any particular order. I'll probably link this tier maker that I have in the description. Sorry if you can hear my dogs barking in the background. They do that. Hopefully you can't hear that though. Alright, so Anthony Richardson, he's been pretty good, but I wouldn't say that he has a bad team around him necessarily. But he's also not been bad, so I'm going to put him in average. Baker Mayfield, he's been pretty good. He actually has a good team around him. But he has had his hiccups, particularly against the Eagles, so I'm going to put him in average as well. Brock Purdy definitely can win a playoff game, especially with that team. Do I think he's an MVP candidate? Not yet. He could be, but honestly, of the people on that team, Christian McCaffrey's probably more likely to win MVP right now. Bryce Young's terrible. Panthers need to replace him. I've seen enough. He's too short. It's not the team around him. Like, I see a bunch of people saying that it's his O-line and his receivers suck. And his coaching sucks. The coaching might actually suck, and the O-line's not great, and the receivers aren't great. But Andy Dalton, at 35 years old, who is trash, by the way, came in and threw for 360 yards and 2 touchdowns. So Bryce Young's just terrible. C.J. Stroud is good. I actually think he can win a playoff game. He's actually been playing incredibly well. Way above my expectations for him. Dak Prescott can win a playoff game, obviously. Daniel Jones, I would say he's actually been good, but has a bad team around him. Derek Carr's been average. I had really high expectations for him this season. I honestly thought that he would be a can win a playoff game type guy, but he's just been underperforming. I want to say he's bad. Not yet. It's close. He's really close to bad. Maybe like one more bad game and I'll be putting him there. Deshaun Watson has had one good game, which was this week, which is the only reason I'm going to put him on average instead of bad. Otherwise, he would have been bad. But we'll put him there. Desmond Ridder, move on. The Falcons should honestly trade for a guy like Kirk Cousins. Probably won't happen because the Falcons are terrible at making general management decisions like that mid-season. Geno Smith, I'm actually wearing his jersey right now. He's been average. I mean, I probably should have a tier here. Actually, no, I'm not going to make a new tier just for that because there'd only be like a few guys there, but there should just be good. I guess we could rename this tier to serviceable. Did I spell that wrong? Oh yeah, I did. I left out an E. Okay, but yeah, so he's been serviceable for sure. Jalen Hurts can win a playoff game. Jared Goff can definitely win a playoff game. Jimmy G's just been bad. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. Or no like real theme to it. It's not like he's throwing too many interceptions or whatever. He's just bad. It's just uninspiring quarterback play. Joe Burrow, also, he's been bad. But I expect him to bounce back if they ever let him miss a game and just recover for a straight week, maybe two. Maybe, I don't know when their bye is, but that'd be a great time. It's probably too far down the line, though. They probably need to do it sooner rather than later. Jordan Love has been serviceable. Josh Allen has been excellent. I actually would put him an MVP candidate because he had a bad first week, but he just rolled the Dolphins like he was playing the Giants or something, and he's doing great. Josh Dobbs, I'm not sure. I'm going to put him in bad just because they lost to the 49ers this week. No one expected him to win this game. But if I would have made one of these videos last week, I would have put him in serviceable. But he's just back to reality now at bad. Justin Fields has also been bad. He had a great week, but the whole of his season up to week 4 has been bad with the exception of 1 week. So I'm going to keep putting him in bad until he has a few games strung together where he's been good. So if he does good next week and maybe the week after that, he can move up to serviceable. And even if he does good for like 5 weeks in a row and they keep losing, then I'll put him in good but bad team. He's never going to be in a win a playoff game, though. He sucks. Justin Herbert, he can win a playoff game. I want to put him in good but bad team around him, but really the only reason I would put him there is because Brandon Staley's a moron and shouldn't be a head coach in the NFL. So if I can't just make a tier for every quarterback, that'd be ridiculous, but if you could have a tier where there is good but terrible head coach, that'd be Justin Herbert. Kenny Pickett's been bad, straight up. Sophomore slump for sure for him. He'll probably get better as the year goes on, I would imagine. He doesn't have a lot of help from the running game, which is definitely an issue. Najee Harris has not been what Steelers fans said he would be. Lamar Jackson can win a playoff game. He is borderline MVP candidate, I would say. This isn't in like any order, by the way, so I'm not saying Brock Purdy's better than like Dak Prescott or whatever. Mac Jones has been bad, straight up, just bad. Matthew Stafford, I would say, has been good, but has a bad team around him with the exception of Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford have been looking like Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford in 2021, but unfortunately their defense has been kind of rough, except for, actually Aaron Donald's been underperforming as well, but that's just for his standards, which are absurd. And he's also getting older, so you can't expect as much from him. But, I mean, with the exception of Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford, I know they just won, but their teams look pretty rough. Although this new running back, last name Williams, I can't remember his first name, he looks okay, so maybe there's hope there. Patrick Mahomes, always perennial MVP candidate. Russell Wilson's actually been serviceable, as much as it pains me to say that. I'm not a huge fan of Russell Wilson, the NFL player. He was terrible last year. I would have put him in the replace ASAP category last year, but so far this season he's been okay. It's actually been borderline good but bad team around him. I'm not going to lie, that defense has looked horrendous compared to last year. Ryan Tannehill has been bad, I'll say. He's had a couple of serviceable games, but overall bad. Sam Howell, this one's getting close to can win a playoff game. I just need him to beat a good team. I haven't really seen that from him. Like, he was so close this week to beating the Eagles, but that's what I'm going to need to move him up to can win a playoff game. But with the exception of the Bills game, he's played really well, and his O-line is atrocious. So, bottom 3 in the NFL, probably. Trevor Lawrence has been bad. Just because you beat up on the Falcons doesn't mean much. The Falcons are overrated and worse than their record just because of this guy, though, Desmond Ridder. Honestly, if they had Trevor Lawrence at quarterback and the Jaguars had Desmond Ridder at quarterback, that game would literally just flip scores and the Falcons would have destroyed them. But Tua, MVP candidate. I know he had a bad week for what he's had so far, but MVP candidates, I mean, I would say these are the 3 front runners for sure. Obviously, Zach Wilson's replaced ASAP. So anyone that I could see potentially moving up or down in the coming weeks, I think Daniel Jones could move down. I'm making this before Monday Night Football against the Seahawks. He could definitely move down to even bad. Serviceable maybe, but he could move down to bad. It really just depends how the game goes, but I just want to make this video today because I got stuff going on tomorrow. Yeah, that's about it. Peace.